Good morning. I'm Cindy Siwe. Welcome back to Tall Order. In our first episode, we spoke about boundaries, about knowing what you're willing to accept and what you're no longer willing to negotiate. In our second episode, we explored a difficult truth that people can only give you what they have. That healing sometimes asks us to release expectations that were never ours to carry. But today, I want to talk about what happens after that. What happens when you stop waiting? Because eventually, healing asks us something more of us. It asks us to choose. And for a long time, I didn't realize how often I was abandoning myself. Not in a dramatic way. In quiet ways. The way I stayed too long. The way I ignored what I knew. The way I kept explaining myself to people who had already decided not to understand. The way I made other people's comfort more important than my own peace. I thought I was being patient. I thought I was being understanding. I thought I was being loyal. But somewhere along the way, I had stopped choosing myself. And healing has a way of bringing you back to yourself. Not to shame you, but to invite you home. And for me, part of that journey was learning something I never realized I was doing. Running. Not always physically, but emotionally. The moment discomfort arrived, I wanted to fix it, solve it, move past it. But my therapist challenged me to do something different. To stay, to sit with that, to sit with what I was feeling, to notice what was happening in my body. And what I discovered was that I had spent so much of my life in survival mode, that I had forgotten how to simply be with myself. I'd often think about the younger version of myself, the little girl who learned to be strong long before she could rest. And if I could sit with her today, I would look her in the eye and tell her, it was never your fault. You didn't have to carry everything. You didn't have to earn love. You didn't have to prove your worth. You were always enough. Because healing wasn't asking me to fight harder. It was asking me to stay. To trust that discomfort would pass. To trust that I could hold myself through difficult moments. To trust that I didn't need to abandon myself every time life felt uncertain. And maybe that's what coming home to myself really is. Learning that you can stay. Stay with your feelings. Stay with your truth. Stay with yourself. Long enough to realize that you are safe. Because choosing yourself is not a single decision. It's a practice, a daily return, a quiet promise that says, I will not abandon myself to be accepted. I will not shrink to be chosen. I will not lose myself trying to hold on to what is not meant for me. And maybe that's what coming home feels like. Not becoming someone new, but remembering who you've been all along. So I leave you with this. What would you say to the younger version of yourself who believed that they had to earn love, approval, or belonging? And what might change if you finally offered yourself the compassion you've been waiting to receive from someone else? Take a moment with that. And in closing, this is the final episode of Tall Order. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Remember, you are seen, you are loved, you are worthy of peace, and you are allowed to come home to yourself gently.